That's what it's called, a calling. If you're not willing to fulfill your calling, don't start the walk.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Angel. Welcome to the Get Motivated podcast. I'm your host, Angel, and with me, I got my co-host, M.O.G. What's up, baby?
What it do? What it do? This is M.O.G. out of All Christ Kingdom Ministries out of Hemet, California. Y'all ready to get motivated or what?
Come on, somebody. Don't forget
that.
to like, share, and subscribe to and follow us on YouTube at the Random Lab TV.
On today's episode, we have Issa Shooter and Jay Bez from the CHH Promotions. Welcome to Get Motivated podcast, everybody. Welcome, brothers.
Man, I'm gonna have to step on my game.
He's like, I'll give y'all the hint. When I go bam, 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 you get the button.
Hey, I'm gonna give you the wink. Man, thank you guys for joining us on the Get Motivated podcast, gentlemen.
Amen.
So,
what up, y'all, man? We're excited to be here. This is awesome, man. This is second time in all the years we've been together that anybody's interviewing CHH Promotions. So this to us is this is awesome for us, man. We appreciate y'all for wanting to speak to us.
Fire, man. I'm over here winking.
I saw you too late.
Man, thank you guys for real. Like, this is something that God is doing, and I appreciate you guys joining us today. We want to get to know how CHH Promotions started, right? But we also want to get to know your guys' background, right? Mm-hmm. So, the shooter, if we could start with you, if you could give us a little bit of your background and how you came to Christ.
Yes.
Come on.
Well, let me start off with this. I am like out of my element by like 70 million miles, bro. I usually don't do the interviews. I usually let Jabez do them. But to give a little background, let me see where how far I could go back, so I won't bore you guys.
Good.
Raised in Miami my whole life, never left Miami until now. Now I'm in North Carolina. Always grew up in the music side of everything. I don't know why, like none of my parents, probably, but like even my grandparents, none of them are into music.
Right.
So all of this was kind of like a surprise for me. Now, the way I got into music was because we were going to this church, and the way this piano player, I guess he was like the music director at that time, but he was on the keys. But the way he would play, the way he would enjoy himself on the piano, I would be like, this man is having fun. Like, this is not, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not just, man, I got to hurry up because I got to go to church type. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this man is enjoying something up there. So long story short, I told my mom, I was like, you know what, let me get into this. And my mother was like, you know what, okay, let's do it. Bought me a piano, got me a class 1 hour a week. Then it went to like 2 hours a week, and then it just escalated from there. Right. I started adding more days. Ended up playing in church by the age of, I want to say 15, 16. Started joining the worship team. Bad experience, I'll tell you that much. Real bad experience at the church that I was in at that time, but not because of them, but because of me. Because I wasn't committed. Fire. You know what I'm saying? To God. I was just a musician. I wasn't a worshiper. I was a musician. So bad experience because I kind of was nitpicking the musicians that were the worshipers who I thought they should have been musicians. I'd be like, bro, you guys don't know your theory. You guys don't know this. Your chord progressions are like trash. This is not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like very harsh, and they were like, we're doing this for God, right? But at that time, I didn't have a lot of verses to defend myself. So I was like, you know what I'm saying? I would have been like, well, give God your excellent. This is your excellent. I think you should just sit down and, you know what I'm saying? But look for a new calling. But I didn't know too many Bible verses. But so I was like, you know what? Like, the people are not enjoying this, and the pastor just keeps calling us up you know what I'm saying, because he has no other choice. And you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't think this is the way it's supposed to be. So we ended up leaving that church, went to another church. It was probably the same route. I was like, you know what? Fed up with church, left to the world. In the world, I started secular producing, dealt with people like through a mutual friend. He was actually my middle school security guard.
Wow.
So he would let me skip every time. Like every time I wanted to leave school, like he would just like open the gate and let me out.
Right.
And then down the road now, once I was like, I believe like almost 18, 19, I go into the world and I start experiencing the music production of it, but secular. I ran into him. He had a record label. He had this open mic night thingy going on. So we ran into each other and we caught up, and then he found out that I was a musician. I found out that he had all of this. I was like, look, let's work together. What do you have to offer me? He goes, look, make beats for my artists and I'll connect you with the industry. So I said, you know, this is cool. Through there I met Cool and Dre, DJ Khaled, Gorilla Zoe, when Gorilla Zoe was Gorilla Zoe popping off. I have a video actually on YouTube where I'm with Gorilla Zoe at one of his signing CD releases, signing thing, whatever they call it, album drops.
Fire.
He will be asking me questions. He'll be like, oh, you know, like, does this cover look good? And I'm like, I'm not a graphic designer. I'm, you know, like, I'll judge your beat, not your, you know, your design.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? But so I started more into that secular stuff. Long story short, started building my I would say my production room at the house that I was at my mother's house. They were going through a divorce. It was just my mom and myself. And then all of a sudden things just started getting weird. And then my mom was like, you know what, you're not gonna live off of this music stuff forever. And I'm like, Mom, I'm almost there. I could see the finish line. I'm about to, you know what I'm saying, get a production deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm like with Cool and Dre every night. I'm vibing with Khaled. I'm over here with Gorilla Zoe. She doesn't know none of these people. You know what I'm saying? Because she jammed to bachata. So I'm like, you know, you don't understand right now. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm almost there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to pay off this house. And she's like, nah, go get a job. So I was like,
get a job.
So then she goes to me, she gave me an option. She's like, go get a job or go back to school. So I said, you know what? I went online at that time. Don't judge me. It was AOL. I had a dial up.
Come on,
2
Showing
years,
your age, baby. Showing your age.
2 years after I actually got online, I looked up what was the fastest course that I could take, but yet give me enough time for me to pop off.
Right.
So it was medical assistant, and this is when I started going into the medical world. So I went into medical assistant. I was going to school for it. The day of graduation is the day that the day of the final exam is the day that it's like a Monday, and I'm going on my way to school, and I am like sweating bullets inside the public bus transportation. I am sweating bullets, and the bus is cold because it's 6 a.m.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, there's something wrong with me because there's no way I could be. I know I'm in Miami, but there's no way I'm in AC and I'm sweating like this.
Yeah.
Long story short, I'm like, you know what? By the school, there's this hospital. I'm gonna stop by there, get me some painkillers, and go back to school.
Hey.
So I started feeling this sharp pain on my right side, and as soon as I get into the hospital, I tell them, you know, I explain to them what's the issue and blah blah blah. Then they do me a CAT scan, and then they say, you know what, your appendix is about to blow. So if we don't do surgery right now, you're gone. So I said, do the surgery because I need to be in school by the latest like 3 hours. So they're looking at me like weird because this is my first time ever visiting the hospital ever since I was born. The moment that I was born, I left the hospital, never looked back. Yeah. This is my first time ever. So I don't know the procedures. I don't know. I'm talking like an idiot to these people. Right. So I'm like, hurry up because I need to be in school by, you know, like in 3 hours. So they're looking at me weird. They ain't paying no attention to me. Long story short, they asked me a question. They're like, you know, do you use drugs? I did at that time. I used weed, cocaine. I was getting into smoking it, you know what I'm saying, straight from I don't know. I'm from Miami, so they call it choppers. You get the cigarettes, you empty it out, and then you put the cocaine in there, you smoke it. Wow. So then a of course, I told him no because I needed a procedure to go fast. I'm like, no, I'm healthy like a horse. You know, I'm you know what I'm saying? The horse got nothing on me, blah, blah, blah.
Hurry up and get me out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then I wake up in the hospital room and I'm like, good, I'm just recovering. I look at the time, it's 7 a.m. So I'm like, okay, so that's an hour. So I'm like, good, 2 more hours. You know, I'm still counting down. The doctor walks in and he tells me, he called me by my real name. He goes, but I'm not going to use it. But he's like, Ice. And I'm like, yes. And then he goes, why did you lie to us? I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you say you didn't use no drugs. And I'm like, no. I'm like, look, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here. Everything was good. Yeah. And he goes, well, you actually died in the on the operating table. We were going to declare you dead. You know what I'm saying? Your mom and your dad were already signing the death certificate. They were already removing everything. And the last thing that we were about to remove was your heart monitor. And the moment they were about to remove it, it starts beeping. Wow. So then they said, give him a chance, let him in. Long story short. So I said, Doc, oh, that sounds good, but we passed the scary part. I'm still here. Can I still make it to class? He goes, what day do you think it is? I'm like, Monday, 7 a.m. I need to be there by 9 a.m., my man. I'm like, you keep like stalling. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He goes, Ice, it's Wednesday.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, this. I'm like, bro, there's no way, bro. I was like, April.
Bro, I told you a few hours.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
hurry up and get me out. And
I'm like, now I ain't passed my test. I'm getting kicked out of my house. My studio room is now going to be disassembled. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you just messed up my whole life, doc. You know what I'm saying?
Mind you, you just died.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not thinking about all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so then I'm speaking, and then they had 2 like lines going inside my mouth, and they were like balloons that were pumping air into my lungs because my lungs were not functioning. Right. So long story short, he goes, you're going to be here for about 2 months under poison control because we need to cleanse your blood.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, there is no way. I got like album release parties to go to. I got beats to go sell at studios. I'm like, yo, Doc, I am on a tight schedule, my man. I'm like, you just put me out of commission for 2 months. Yeah, long story short, my mom comes in, my father comes in, and they're like, you know, Ice, you shouldn't be like this. We know you were deep into drugs like that. You know, God doesn't like that. And I'm like, Mom, I haven't seen God. I haven't spoken to God. I haven't had a relationship with this man for about 7 years. There is no way you're going to talk to me about this, right? Both of y'all don't even go to church. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I can't be standing there and talking about it. So we left it. I left it like that. But then in the room, once no visitation, it was just me and whoever was in the other side of the curtain, me sharing the room with my roommate. I spoke to God and I was like, God, is this you calling me back? Is this you reaching out? Is this you trying to get my attention? Because you got my attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I go, but if it's you, and I had a cell phone, this again back in the days, Nokia, however,
baby.
Yeah, whatever they want to call it.
The chirp.
I had all my contacts in there, right? And I said, God, there's no way that I'm going to walk away to a church right now and have all these contacts, which I know that I'm like a block away from making it. You know what I'm saying? And not answer their calls because it's easy money. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll donate my 10% if that's all you want. If you're calling me to donate 10% from whatever I make, let me know.
Yeah.
If not, this is what I challenge them. I go, if not, let this phone die to the point where I can't see contacts. I can't make phone calls. I can't receive them. Before I even finished the prayer, the phone died. I said, no way. I was like, I didn't even bring my charger. I had the charger, connected it. It was not charger issue. So I said, okay, so prayer number 1 answered. So I said, you know what, God? I go, I want to do the sinner's prayer. I go, but I don't want somebody that knows me. I don't want somebody that comes and tells me, you know, Ice, repent from these drugs. I see drugs in your life. You're using drugs. Well, yeah, because you're using them with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know what I mean? I want somebody that knows me, but doesn't know the dirty side of me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Long story short, the next day, my parents come in through visitation with this very elderly lady who kind of raised us in some sort, but when I went to the world, we lost contact. But she knew who I was because she always stayed in contact with my parents. She come to the side of the bed and she goes, Ice, I feel my spirit that you want to do the sinner's prayer. And I'm like, there's no way.
Wow.
I'm like, there's no way, man.
Come on,
I'm like, my man. I'm like, there's no way, bro. So she goes, you don't have to say it out loud if you're embarrassed, if you don't want anybody to say it, but I need you to repeat after me, even if it's inside your mind. So I said, I'm down. I repeated it, bam, bam, bam. Second prayer, and so I said, God, I'm gonna give you the third one, and if this happens, my man, I'm with you no matter what.
100%.
No matter if they lend me a $1 million deal, I'm with you.
What was that third prayer?
I go to him. They gave me 2 months to be in here. I don't know how people do it in jail, but I was in the hospital room, and I was going crazy.
Right.
And I said, God, I can't be here no more. I need to be out of here. This was already Thursday. So I had
one day
Thursday night in the room. Right. One day. And I'm going crazy, insane.
One day.
And I go to God, if I'm out of here by Saturday noon, I'm yours. No questions asked, no negotiations, no looking back. I'm yours.
Wow.
Doctor comes on Friday afternoon. He goes, Ice, you're out of here Saturday noon. I said, my man, say that one more time. He goes, Saturday noon. I say less. Say less. Nobody winked their eyes. So then...
But it was perfect timing. All right, let me do me, okay?
Oh my God.
So then on Saturday noon, wow. I'm leaving, discharge papers. I'm out of there. I get to the crib and I'm like, all right, God, now show me a church that needs the gifts that you gave me.
Wow. Wow.
I don't need a mega church. I don't want a church where they know that because of my talents, I'm already in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to put in what you gave me. You know what I'm saying? Like you did so much for me already. I want to do something for the ones that you've caught that don't have all those resources mega churches have. Wow. And one of the things that they don't have is always worshipers.
That's good.
They always playing CDs. At that time, it was iPods. Don't judge my age. It was iPods.
Was it the Virgin one? No.
they weren't even generations yet.
Oh, come on, somebody. That's so good.
So long story short, my mom's uncle flew from Guatemala into United States because he was invited to this church. Right. And he comes to my room and he goes to me, Ice, do you want to go with me? And I said, you know what? Yes, I do want to go with you. Wow. We went to this church that was literally next to, from those who are from Miami, it's on 119. It's next to a strip club called Coco's.
Come on.
And the little church was there, like in the little corner. We went there and I was like, Lord, I was just there like 2 months ago, you know what I'm saying? Like at an album release party. And I'm like next door at a church. I'm like, this is crazy. Right. Go inside. There's no musicians.
What you pray for?
No worshipers. No good. Nothing. The first thing that the pastor talks to me after church, he goes, Ice, do you have any gifts, that have to do with music? And he starts laughing. He goes, because we need worshipers. And I was like, wow, God. I'm like, why are you doing me like this? I'm like, this is my this visitation day. I said, you know what? I go, this is my chance. I go, yes. From that day on, I stayed on. Shout out to that pastor because that pastor is who literally guided me on how to pray, how to read the scriptures, how to fast, how to wake up in the morning, how to listen to his voice, knowing how to discern. I mean, this man equipped me with everything and anything that I always called it my boot camp.
Wow.
Because I was, and I told him, and me and the pastor always spoke, I'm not going to be here forever. Right. I go, but I know this is my boot camp. Whatever you have, whatever God gave you, give it to me. And everything he gave me, I'm giving it to you.
That's good. That's good.
From that day on, boom, we ventured, bam, bam, bam. Long story short, everything evolved, everything kept moving. The church grew, the church moved, they got a new building. I helped them build their team. When I left the church, when I got to the church, we had probably one potential of a singer and then nobody else. One potential drummer too, one potential drummer, one potential singer, nobody else. By the time I left the church, I don't know if Jabez ever visited the church, but I left them equipped with 14 members, 2 bands. One played morning service, the other one played youth service, and it kept going like that. We left violinists, we left flute players, we left synthesizers, pianists, a whole choir team. We left almost 4 lead singers on rotation, 3 drummers. I mean, we left them that. We equipped their soundboard, we trained sound people, we had pro presenters and easy worship. I mean, we left the church, and I deposited. Jabez knows I'm a tech guy. Anything tech, I deposited. Anything that I knew, deposited. I said, you know what, God, this is for you. This is not for me. Long story short, he took me to another church that was in Wynwood, helped that church out for a bit. This is where I meet Jay Bez, and I start, you know what I'm saying? We start kind of more talking into what music is about, because it was a musical church. It was a rap church, rap-based church. First time ever being in a church like that. So I was still learning. So I was like, I'm in boot camp all over again, but in a different degree.
And more outdoors than indoors, though.
And it was outdoors, 100% outdoors.
Not have a
because we were literally in a corner lot.
Yeah.
So we will have to set up the mixer, the speakers, the piano, the drums, the mics, everything.
The chairs.
You know what I'm saying? The chairs, the tables, and we had street teams, everybody on the sidewalk. We had prayer teams on the sidewalk here on the next block. But this was my first time experiencing all of this, so I didn't want to just jump in and say, you know, I'm the man over here. So that I was taking notes. I was like, you know what, man, look, this guy's Jabez. He says he's a rapper. Okay, he's funny. He laughs a lot. He's energetic. He's on Red Bulls. I don't know where this man get his wings from.
Why you put me all out in this part?
But because it's CHH Promotions. But
praise God.
From that moment, I was attracted to Jabez's and I want to say this, his love for the people.
That's good.
His love for the ministry.
That's good.
And that's what attracted me to him, because he was always quick when somebody was like, oh, there's a demon over there. And I looked around to see who wanted to go. Jabez was already there. And I'm like, is he the demon they're talking about? Or did he get there fast? Because he moved so quick. And I was like, this man is ministry. I'm like, this man is ministry. The pastor just called and he's already over there. You know, and he was never scared to cast out a demon. And I was like, bro, what if that demon just slaps you? He didn't care. He was there. Boom, boom, praying tongues. And I'm like, nobody's gonna go support this man. I'm on piano. I'm like, nobody gonna support this man. And I'm like, yeah, I can't get out of here. It's not true. But I was like, I can't jump off the piano and go over there and just giving excuses, because I've never been in a situation like that. So I was like, you know what? Okay, cool. Long story short, we built this team. It's a weird team because everybody had different upbringings.
Big time.
According to music, it was real, culture. Everything was weird. But for some reason, we formed this team called One Accord. And it was a media team. And we still have videos on YouTube that I'm going to see if I'm going to post them later on our page. I'm going to post them on our stories so you guys can watch them.
Just so y'all know,
I always had a beard, so that never changed.
Just so y'all know, we don't age.
Yeah. Yeah, we look exactly the same. Exactly the same. And we formed this media team, One Accord. We're going to all these album release parties from CHH people. We're going to concerts. We're linking up with, at that time, the artists were people like Thizzle, Trip Lee, Social Club, Social Club when they were coming out.
That boy,
you know what I'm saying?
Thizzle.
You know, I was back in the days type.
D-Mob, Ruslan.
D-Mob, yeah, all the people when they were coming up, you know what I'm saying? And we were all linking them up with them, doing the media, doing this, interviewing, showcasing, all the stuff, you know, Jabez. That's where Jabez would start hosting a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? And little did we know that was not going to be our team forever, but it was again another level of boot camp to what we were gonna do
Come on.
for a good minute. So from there, I started learning videography because I knew that I had to be the video guy because I was like, I'm not energetic like Jay Bez. At that time, I didn't have buttons like these. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm the cameraman. I would literally kill myself for the camera if I had to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, don't say it. He was gonna say an embarrassing story. I already saw his face, but I had to learn what was resolution, what was SD cards, what were micro cables, micro HDMI. At that time, we were still using USBs, externals, and carrying laptops the size of what I'm saying, suitcases.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So I was like. So we started learning all of this. JBez starts learning more of the hosting, more of the mic side, more of the interviewing, the communications, the wording. So we're all in our own sense without knowing, preparing ourselves for what it is today. Then from that point on, we literally, for whatever reason, everybody just disappeared.
Wow.
Disappeared to the point where nobody had communications. Last time I heard, Jabez was in Canada, and I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm found myself in Colorado Springs with my daughter who was born there. Couldn't take the cold, so 6 months later I was right back at Miami. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, everybody's all over the place until one day, Jabez, I don't know how we got into contact again, and he was like, oh, I'm still doing the media stuff. And I'm like, wow, like you can't go let go of the past. I'm telling my wife, I'm like, hey, this man is stuck on his past, bro, like this.
Right.
So then I'm like, man, at that time Instagram was very young.
Right.
Instagram was very young. I go, show me your page. He sent me his page. I'm like, this man trying to make it with 303 followers. I'm like, look at his content. I'm like, there's no purpose. There's no aesthetics. I'm like, there's nothing. I'm like judging. And then my wife looks at me like, well, then you're the missing part. And I was like, who told you to talk? I'm like, women, get behind me. So then that's a joke, guys. But yeah. So then I told her, you know what? Like, you're right. So then I told Jabez, pitch me your vision and pitch me your mission. He goes, I don't have a mission statement, but all I have is a vision. And my vision is to bridge the CHH people to what they're missing. And they're missing resources. They're missing resources in promotions. They're missing resources in this and that. Start breaking me this. He broke me a whole, by the time of the end of the conversation, I was like, how do I join? And he's like, he goes, I thought you would never ask. I'm like, how do I join? And then from that point on, it took off. I think by the year and a half, we reached about 8,000. And then when he first did his first hosting of, what was it, Flavor Fest? We jumped to 13,000 and it just kept growing. I was like, this is our third year. We barely hit our third year yet.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, a lot of people may not know that.
Yeah.
I just want to say something, man. That you guys put so much excellence into it, man. It doesn't even seem like you guys have been doing it for 3 years.
That's
You
crazy.
guys are doing it for years.
Yeah.
Years.
Crazy.
Appreciate that. Thank you, bro.
So heavy, man. Like you guys set a bar, and you guys don't waver from that bar. So that's heavy, man. I love your testimony, bro. I love how you let God use your talents and your gifts, because a team is a team, right?
Yeah.
One person can do things by themselves, but when you join together, bro, that's it. Like God starts moving, and God starts. It's like a wheel. You know what I mean? You can't get on a bicycle with one wheel unless you know how to ride it, right? But you need both wheels for it to turn and for it to grow. And so I see that, man. Salute.
But you know what's crazy about that is wheels come in different shape and sizes. So you can put two wheels on a bicycle, but if they're not the same, they're not in the one same accord of PSIs, rubbers, and all this, it's not gonna function the same. I think the benefit of what God did in our lives was he put two people that had a passion for quality. And I think that's something that we always stated in everything that before we launched everything, we said, This is the blueprint. This is the brainstorm. Now, how do we make this quality? Without quality, Jabez can tell you how many projects we shut down or were not released because it was not quality.
I mean, how many projects I came up with that you shut down because it wasn't quality?
And we always say, if it's not quality, it's not launching.
Yeah, and that's
fine. I mean, and I think that we never bickered back and forth in regards to quality and consistency. Those two items were our main key: quality and consistency. Quality and consistency. When I would he'll be like, "Ice, you didn't post it," and I'm like, "Oh." He wouldn't send it to me. I was like, Jabez, you didn't send it to me. Consistency, consistent. We held each other accountable without getting in our feelings, without getting emotional, without getting angry at each other, bothered by each other. Quality and consistency, for 2 years, and you see the growth. Now I could promise you, it's on cruise control.
Right.
It's on cruise control because now we jump on and it just comes out natural. It just comes out natural. Natural.
I want to say that you hit heavy on, and God's been showing me this, is the blueprint. If you don't have a blueprint, how do you expect to grow?
Yeah.
And so God's been touching me with that. Like,
wow,
wow,
that's good.
Revival Fest, man. Like, he's been like, hey, you need a blueprint in order for this to grow. Like, he showed me that when they build a house, they just don't go over there and start, hey, we're gonna put the house right here. They go through the engineer. Right, they go through the process. They have to get the concrete laid out. Then they have to start building. And so the blueprint is heavy. Without the blueprint, you can't go anywhere. And so you touch that real heavy, man.
But it's what Jabez just said. He goes, Jabez is in charge of the ideas. This man is full of ideas. I tell you guys that I'll bore you to death with the amount of ideas this man throws me on a daily basis. I'm like, my man, I'm at work. My man, I'm with my family. My man, I can't respond. Sometimes I feel so bad that I leave him on ready. I'm like, I hope he doesn't think that I'm ignoring him. But it's so much to take. I'm like, slow down. And I literally text him something and I tell him, like, my man, like, slow down. Like, you're going too fast. You know what I'm saying? Like, break it down to me. Like, what does this mean? What do you have in mind? Like, you just shot me the topics and then said, what do you think? What do I think of what? You just gave me the title. Give me break down more. But the ideas, once he brings me the ideas, I bring him the blueprint, then we brainstorm. Once we brainstorm, the last part is quality. Once quality is in control, then we call it a rollout. How are we launching? What are the rollout procedures? Who are we hitting? What's our demographic? This is where my marketing experience comes in. What's our demographic? Who is our audience? Who are we hitting? What cities? What's the National Geographic section of it? You know what I'm saying? No, are we targeting men, women, children, teenage? At one point, when we first started, we were hitting only like people from 35 over.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, Jabez, we need to do better than this. And he's like, I want to target the youth. And I said, perfect. I did my marketing strategies. It took us about 6 months to bring that number to 21 to 28 or something like that. It took us another like 8 months to do literally where we wanted to be from the age of 16 to the age of 20.
Wow.
And I was like, once we started in that consistent, we were hitting that new generation. That new generation, I promise you guys, is what brought us to the top because they were sharing. Those little kids share everything. And I was like,
that's great information right there.
And I was like, if we could get these little kids to push our content and bring not only light from what the CHH is into what was at that time rising up, the gaming world, the streaming world. I was like, we had little kids like interacting with anime and CHH. They were putting CHH music, like our content, behind anime stuff that they would edit themselves. And I'm like, we made it. I'm like, we've made our target. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it. Like, this is exactly where we at. So it's on cruise control, I tell you. But it's a lot of work. I promise you guys, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Nothing comes easy, man. And nothing comes easy but how did you, through all this, you know what I mean, through all that you guys been through together, because I know CHH Promotion is the team, right? You have a whole team. But how do you keep Christ-centered at it when you're dealing with certain politics or certain situations? How do you keep Christ-centered?
You know, we have to be realistic. And this is something that Jabez and me always speak about. Right. Be realistic. I always, always with Jabez or with anybody who asks me that question, I always go to the Bible verse when the disciple was so happy and he's like, Jesus, we are finally in our ministry mode. No more taxes. And Jesus said, no, my man, give Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give God what belongs to God.
That's good.
If you don't know how to balance ministry and business, you will confuse both of them and you will not have success in ministry nor business. So you have to know when to pray about things and know when to act upon things. So for example, when I text Jabez back in the days, we haven't done that in a hot minute, but when we first started, I tell him, Jabez, we're about to overdraft. And he's like, I'm gonna pray about it. My man, the prayer is not gonna get us into the overdraft. They're gonna charge us $60 daily, right?
Yeah.
So he goes, what do we got to do? I said, we need to sell packages, sell packages. Wow. Let's move. We're both salesmen. We'll start selling. Hey guys, boom, boom, boom. We'll sell packages, doom. We bring the bank back to the normal numbers and then even much more, right?
Wow.
We have to know when to act and when to pray. The problem with a lot of Christian people is that they want to pray over everything, but they don't want to act over nothing.
Amen.
After they pray.
Amen.
Somebody.
Because the
Amen.
prayer
That was good.
is not bad. The prayer, remember, prayer is just
Keep
communication.
that in mind. Right.
Prayer is communication with God. That's you talking with God. Hey, God, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like Job. Job was like, God, why you abandoned me? You took everything. That prayer doesn't mean that God has to automatically bring Job everything back, right?
Yeah.
He had to work for everything. He had to demonstrate that his walk, his trust with God was genuine. Because God was on his own mission to prove to Satan that, the man that you talking about, he is blameless. He ain't going to curse me and die. He ain't going to look back. So God is on his own mission, but you got to do your own mission as well. That's what it's called, a calling. If you're not willing to fulfill your calling, don't start the walk. Because
good.
everybody prays, and this is something that I don't like when I do it. I go into sermon mode, but this is something that we were just talking about on Monday Mayhem. Everybody says, God, send me, I'll go. But they want to go because of the hype. They want to go because look at me. I made it. I'm on the platform. I'm sharing the mic on the stage with 70 million good artists, right? But the go, send me, I'll go, carries weight. That's your calling. That's your purpose. This is where the Bible talks about the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are not there because the laborers are on the field playing around on their phones while the harvest is getting messed up.
Wait. I got you.
There you go. There you go.
So there's so much attached to it that when Jabez and I sit down and say, you know what is ministry or what is now? When somebody comes to us and say, hey, Ice, Jabez, listen to this song, hopefully it edifies you guys. We see the work that they're putting. We see great art covers. We see the mixing, the production is amazing. And they say, you know what? I tell Jabez, this is the ministry side of it. Let's sow a free promotion to him, the full package, the premium promo, and we market it to all our marketing teams. We send it to our DJ networks, to our audience network, to our email blast. We send it to our radio stations, and then we play it as well. We put it on our page. We push we give them the whole premium, but we sow that into them, and we have seen how God has kept our monies balanced so well when we know how to balance ministry and business.
That's so good.
Hopefully that answered that question.
I can't. Wow. Because a lot of people get scared, man. Jabez, you have anything to piggyback off of that?
Well, I do want to say in regards to some of the stuff that he said, please. I won't do no embarrassing stories. As a team doing the business part, but you as individuals live for the Lord. When you have the business, it ain't about you. There's times where him and Ice and I would have a disagreement, but it's what is it that's needed for CHH Promotions, Jabez? It ain't about what your idea or what your thing is, or it's not about Ice. It ain't about this post, whatever the case is. What do we need at CHH Promotions? Because it doesn't matter what I think or I need.
Yeah.
And when we have those conversations, that leads to the next best decision. So yeah, keeping God first and knowing that you will have to die to yourself, because when you come in agreement with another individual to start a business,
Right.
friendship, let's be real. Friendship out the door, forget, because even though y'all friends, you're working together on this business and that can destroy y'all. So it better be, we're doing this in the Lord, for the Lord, to the Lord, for the people together. So our opinions, it's just got to, and we've had those moments, man. And that's the blessing.
Those are the hardest times. I promise you.
But the victory, the outcome, the fruit, oh, it's always so good, y'all. So good.
You have to remember that in the ministry side of what we're called to do as media personnel, as hosting personnel, what we're called to do is carry so much weight in the kingdom, in the spiritual realm.
Right.
So the ministry side of it, by default, through scriptures, we're gonna be tested.
That's good. That's good.
We're gonna be tested. We're going to be tested through patience. We're going to be tested through our self-control. We're going to be tested through our mentality. We're going to be, our emotions are going to be tested. Everything is going to be tested because there's certain levels that we're going to reach that if we haven't refined those areas in our life, it's going to be triggered in the public and we could affect and influence for the wrong. And then it's going to taint God's name and glory for that purpose.
Come on.
So sometimes the way Jabez and me have disagreed, when I tell you it gets really ugly, we rejoice because we're able to refine ourselves spiritually behind doors. So when we're in the public, they think that, like, oh my God, Jabez and I, these people are a made team. This is the, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen team.
I'm Jordan.
Right.
But Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen had the disagreements.
Yeah.
Oh,
you will
yeah.
see a lot of videos, if you look at it closely, where they'll be on the court, they'll be angry at each other. Yeah. But yet they know that the main goal was to win that game. So no matter how big our disagreement is, our main goal is CHH Promotion has to do kingdom work first, business second.
Build that bridge.
If we can't get it in that order, I'm out. And I told Jabez, I'm out if it's not in that order.
So I remember hearing, I wish I knew the names of these evangelists. There's two evangelists. One was a Calvinist, one was Arminian. And if you already know, they don't like each other. So you would think a Calvinist evangelized too is already a funny joke to most people. But anyways, let's not go there. They had so much battle. Let's do that. They had so much against each other. They battled. They tried calling each other out, right? Like nowadays, they tried exposing one another and all the things that they do and all this. And both of them, though, were powerful followings and men of God. One was in England. I forgot where the other one was. Long disclaimer: when a Hispanic says "long story short," they're lying.
Yeah.
The story's gonna continue.
Yeah.
All right.
I said long story short in my testimony like 17
you said it
times.
20 times, bro.
20.
I was like, where's the freaking disclaimer? So long story short, let me stop.
So good.
One of the evangelists passed away.
Right.
In his memoirs, how you say it?
Yeah.
Memoirs?
Yeah,
That one. He wanted and a request for that other evangelist to speak at his funeral. So he sends him a letter before his passing. This evangelist, right, the other guy, he grabs the letter and he says in here on this letter that he's reading from the guy that he did not like the whole time, both evangelists. If I would have reminded myself that what we are doing, main goal was to bring him to the salvation of Jesus Christ, then I should have held your hand the entire way and put the doctrines aside.